We're going to take a look at how we can create a different type of text, 3D text, and text that can actually be animated per character in the 3D space. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab our type tool and simply click in the comp and type anything. And I'm going to grab my selection tool and move this guy over. And as you can see, it's currently in a 2D space. So what we're going to do is we're going to twirl open the properties for the type, and we're going to go to where it says animate and click on this little button. And what we want to do is turn on enable per character 3D. Now it looks like nothing happened, but if we go to our camera controls and we change it to a custom view, and then we start to animate, you'll see some changes here. So let me go ahead and grab my track Z camera, and I'm going to zoom in like so. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to twirl open some of the properties for this text, but I'll move it over just a little bit. Now what we can do is go back to this animate here, and we can change things like tracking, line anchor, line spacing, and we can do everything else that we could normally do with this text. But something interesting here is if I go ahead and twirl open the transform controls, you're going to see something really cool happen when I hit rotation. So watch this. I'm now in 3D space. But more interestingly, if I go to the Y rotation, I can rotate that as well, and Z. But there's more to that. I can actually go back to the text controls here and go to path options and more options, and you can see that there's tons and tons of stuff that's inside this actual dialog box that simply isn't available in many of the other animatable things inside of After Effects. So I'm going to go back to animate, and I'm going to choose rotation. And as you can see here, I have the ability to work with the word, the line, all. I can choose a range selection, so I can go ahead and rotate, check that out, each single letter. And each letter is like its own thing. I can go to Y and do the same thing. And of course, X. So let me go ahead and zero those out. And what I'm going to do is show you a really cool trick. And this will really make a lot of sense when you see it. So I'm going to go back to that Y rotation. And I'm going to put here a value of 90. Then what we're going to do is go back to our camera views here and go back to the active camera. You'll notice the text is now flat facing in a different direction. And we can actually animate the text turning towards the audience. So that's just one of the examples of using this per character 3D thing here. Once again, we can go ahead and put the stopwatch on. So I'll go ahead and put this back on 90. Put the stopwatch on, move over a tad, and I'll go ahead and put this back on 0. And I'll scrub, and we have animation. And we can, of course, animate the other values as well. If you mess up, don't forget you can go ahead and reset at any time. And you can always turn off the 2D layer if you don't want to see this effect. So once again, that is how you can animate things inside of this per character option that lives right here inside of the text menu.